She walked through chapel doors at 17, with nothing but a dream and faith unseen. White habit flowing, heart so pure and bright, ready to serve Him with all her might. Her hands were empty, but her soul was full of love that time could never make grow dull. She chose a path that few would understand, to give her life into the Master's hands. With a heart that gives, she found her way through every night and every day. The more she poured, the more she'd find peace and joy within her mind. It's blessed to give, then to receive. These words became the air she breathed. A heart that gives will never lack, for love returns tenfold back. In hospital halls she held the dying, wiped away tears from children crying, fed the hungry, clothed the poor. Love was always at her door. 50 years of morning prayers, lifting up the world's despairs, never seeking praise or gold, just a heart that won't grow cold. With a heart that gives, she found her way through every night and every day. The more she poured, the more she'd find peace and joy within her mind. It's blessed to give, then to receive. These words became the air she breathed. A heart that gives will never lack, for love returns tenfold back. When her body grew weak and frail, her spirit told a different tale. Students came from far and wide to learn from this love-filled guide. Give your heart, she'd softly say, every single blessed day. For in giving you will see what true happiness can be. With a heart that gives, she showed the way through every night and every day. The more we pour, the more we'll find peace and joy in perfect peace, where all earthly troubles cease. But her legacy lives on in every heart she touched upon. A heart that gives will always last. A heart that gives holds nothing fast. A heart that gives like hers will be light for all eternity. In a small chapel where the morning light would fall, she heard his voice, the gentlest call, to leave behind the world she knew and serve the broken, lost, and few. With weathered hands and eyes so kind, she saw his face in those left behind. The homeless man beneath the bridge, the child alone upon the ridge. Called to love the least of these, she brought hope to those in need. Every soul she chose to serve
was Christ Himself in flesh and word.
What you do for them, he said, you have done for me instead. In the smallest acts of care, heaven's love was always there. Through city streets at break of dawn, she'd walk where hope seemed nearly gone. With soup and bread and gentle prayer, she showed that someone truly cared. In nursing homes where time stands still, she'd sit beside the weak and frail, hold trembling hands and speak of grace, and light would shine in every face. Called to love the least of these, she brought hope to those in need. Every soul she chose to serve
Was Christ Himself in
like her, we're called to love the She heard the voices calling from the night, lost souls wandering without light. Their broken dreams and shattered hope, she reached for those who couldn't cope. Through alleyways where shadows fall, she answered every desperate call. With open arms and gentle care, she showed them God was always there. The cry of the streets, she made it her own. No heart left abandoned, no soul left alone. Your tears in his bottle, each one he has saved. She whispered to those who felt lost and betrayed. In darkness she carried his love like a flame. The cry of the streets would never be the same. The addicted mother, the runaway teen, the elderly man who felt unseen. She sat with them through endless nights and helped them see tomorrow's light. Her prayers rose up like morning dew. For every face she ever knew, she bore their burdens as her own, made sure they'd never walk alone. The cry of the streets, she made it her own. No heart left abandoned, no soul left alone. Your tears in his bottle, each one he has saved. She whispered to those who felt lost and betrayed. In darkness she carried his love like a flame. The cry of the streets would never be the same. They asked her how she found the strength to go to such extraordinary lengths. She smiled and said with eyes so bright, their tears are precious in his sight. For 40 years she walked those broken roads, lightening every heavy load. And when her earthly journey ceased, she'd given hurting hearts such peace. The cry of the streets, she made it her song. She showed them that they could belong. Your tears in his bottle, each one he has saved. Her legacy lives in the souls that she saved. She carried his love like an cry where mercy meets, a cry, she made it complete through love poured out on the In the quiet of the morning light, she'd sweep the floors and make things right. Not for praise or earthly gain, but for him who broke sin's chain. Every dish she washed with care, every bed she'd neatly prepare. In the smallest acts each day, she would worship, work and pray. Small things with great love, that's how she lived her life. With hands that served below and heart fixed on the heights above. Work with all your heart, she'd say, as unto the Lord each day. Small things with great love. Small things with great love. When the children came to learn, she would teach with deep concern. Not just letters, not just math, but how to walk the narrow path. Bandaging a scraped up knee, drying tears so tenderly. In her eyes they'd always see Christ's own love and mercy. Small things with great love, that's how she lived her life. With hands that served below and heart fixed on the heights above. Work with all your heart, she'd say, as unto the Lord each day. Small things with great love. Small things with great love. No cameras caught her faithful ways, no headlines spoke her praise, but heaven's records always showed each seed of love that she had sown. She knew that faithful in the small meant faithful when he'd call. Her treasure stored beyond this earth, where service proves its worth. When her hair turned silver white and her steps were not so light, still she'd rise before the dawn to serve until her strength was gone. Teaching others what she'd learned, how true purpose could be earned. Not for man, but for the one who calls us daughters and sons. Small things with great love, that's how she lived her life. With hands that served below and heart fixed on the heights above. Work with all your heart, she'd say, as hospital corridors wide, bringing comfort in the darkest night. With gentle touch and whispered prayer, she showed that God was always there. Her hands had learned to soothe and mend, to be a broken soul's true friend. No payment asked, no fee required, just love that never would grow tired. Hands that heal, hearts that care, bringing hope to those in despair. Freely you receive, she'd say with grace. Freely give to the human race. In every wound she'd tend with love, she saw a gift sent from above. Hands that heal, hearts that share, God's own mercy everywhere. The AIDS patients that others fear, she held them close and dried their tears. The homeless brought to emergency, found dignity and sympathy. She'd sit beside the dying man and gently hold his trembling hand. Speak of peace beyond this world, where heaven's flags would be unfurled. Hands that heal, hearts that care, bringing hope to those in despair. Freely you receive, she'd say with grace. Freely give to the human race. In every wound she'd tend with love, she saw a gift sent from above. Hands that heal, hearts that share, God's own mercy everywhere. They asked her why she never charged for healing hearts so badly scarred. She smiled and said with eyes so bright, His love came free, and that's my life. 40 years of faithful service, healing bodies, calming nervous, hearts that thought they'd lost their way, found new hope in her each day. When arthritis bent her fingers, still her legacy would linger. In the nurses she had trained, in the lives that were regained. Hands that heal, hearts sacrifice, hands that heal with love, hands sent from above, hands that freely give the way that we should Before the sunrise, she would rise to knead the dough with loving eyes. The kitchen filled with warmth and steam, living out God's perfect dream. Her apron stained with flour white, she worked from early dawn till night, preparing meals for those in need, planting love's eternal seed. Bread for the hungry, hope for the lost. She gave her life no matter the cost. Share your food with those in need. This became her holy creed. In every loaf she'd bake with care was a prayer sent through the air. Bread for the hungry, love made real in every simple sacred meal. The line would form outside her door, the rich, the broken, and the poor. She served them all with equal grace, a smile upon her weathered face. The single mother has 3 kids to feed, the homeless man in desperate need, the elderly with pockets bare, found dignity and love with care. Bread for the hungry, hope for the lost. She gave her life no matter the cost. Share your food with those in need. This became her holy creed. And every loaf she'd bake with care was a prayer sent through the air. Bread for the hungry, love made real in every simple sacred meal. They called her kitchen heaven's gate, where no one ever came too late. She'd say with flour on her hands, this is how love understands. When winter storms would rage outside, her door stayed open, arms spread wide. Through decades of faithful giving, she taught them all the joy of living. The neighborhood began to change, hearts softened in that loving range, where bread was shared and hope restored, in service to her risen Lord. Bread for the hungry, hope for the lost. She gave her life no matter the cost. Share your food with those in need. Her legacy, a living seed. to the darkest places, where hope had fled from weary faces. The prison cells, the city slums, where desperation always comes. With candle bright and heart so pure, she brought a light that would endure. To those who thought their night would last, she whispered, "Your darkness has passed." Light in the shadows, hope in despair, she carried His love everywhere. You are the light, she'd softly say, shine bright and chase the dark away. In every soul she touched with grace, God's glory shone upon her face. Light in the shadows, piercing through, making everything brand new. The broken women lost in shame, she called each one by her true name. The addicted youth with hollow eyes, she helped them see beyond their lies. In hospice halls where death drew near, she brought them peace and cast out fear. Her very presence seemed to glow with light that all the world should know. Light in the shadows, hope in despair, she carried His love everywhere. You are the light, she'd softly say, shine bright and chase the dark away. In every soul she touched with grace, God's glory shone upon her face. Light in the shadows, piercing through, making everything brand new. When they asked her secret power, how she shined in the darkest hour, she'd point beyond herself and say, I'm just reflecting His bright ray. Through 50 years of faithful service, she proved that love would never leave us. In every corner where she'd go, the light of Christ began to grow. Now others carry on her mission, following her heart's petition to be the light in shadows deep, where broken spirits wake from sleep. Light in the shadows, hope in despair, we carry His love everywhere. You are the light, we hear her say, shine bright and chase the dark was the strongest one. Small hands, a voice soft as the dawn. But when the storms of life would rage, she'd find her strength upon the stage of simple faith and humble prayer, with burdens that seemed too much to bear. Her body frail, her spirit bright, she'd carry others through the night. When her own tears would start to fall, she'd trust in Him who conquered all. Strength in weakness, grace so divine. When her power failed, His would shine. My grace is enough, she'd hear Him say. My power perfected in your weakness today. The weaker she became, the more His glory shone from shore to shore. Strength in weakness, perfect and true, He made her strong when she was through. Arthritis bent her fingers down, but still she'd serve throughout the town. Her failing eyesight couldn't see, but hearts would heal through her ministry. The young ones thought she was too old, the strong ones said her time was sold. But in her weakness He would prove that love's the greatest power to move. Strength in weakness, grace so divine. When her power failed, His would shine. My grace is enough, she'd hear Him say. My power perfected in your weakness today. The weaker she became, the more His glory shone from shore to shore. Strength in weakness, perfect and true, He made her strong when she was through. When cancer came to steal her breath and whispered threats of coming death, she smiled and said with peaceful heart, His strength and mine will never part. In hospital bed she'd still reach out to comfort others filled with doubt. Her weakness became His display of grace that grows stronger every day. Her final years were marked by pain, but never once did she complain. Instead, she'd point beyond herself to treasures worth more than earthly wealth. The miracles that came through her were proof that His power would endure. When human strength had reached its end, His perfect power would transcend. Strength in weakness, grace so divine. When our power fails, His will shine. My grace is enough, He tells us all. My power's perfect when you fall. The weaker we become, the more His glory shines from shore to shore. Strength in weakness, forever true. He'll make us strong when we're through. Now she rests in perfect strength, where weakness goes to any length. But her legacy teaches still that God works through surrendered will. Strength found in deep weakness. Strength for the souls that weep. Strength that will always be His power made perfect in frailty. In a quiet convent hall, she knelt in morning prayer, with hands worn soft from service and silver in her hair.
She chose a path of giving when she was young and free, to pour herself like water for all humanity. Her spirit carries on. A life poured out in love is never truly gone. True they are. She walked among the broken, the lost and the afraid, with gentle hands extended. Her calling never swayed. Through corridors of sorrow, she carried heaven's light, a beacon in the darkness, making everything bright. Faith, hope, and love remain. She lived these words each day, but the greatest of these is love that never fades away. Love's eternal legacy, written on every heart she touched. The greatest gift of all is loving others so much. She bandaged wounded spirits. She dried a million tears. She whispered God's own comfort to calm their deepest fears. No earthly crown she sought for, no riches for her own, just seeds of love planted in every heart she'd known. Faith, hope, and love remain. She lived these words each day, but the greatest of these is love that never fades away. Love's eternal legacy, written on every heart she touched. The greatest gift of all is loving others so much. When twilight came upon her and earthly days grew few, she smiled at all the faces that her love had carried through. I leave you with three treasures, she whispered soft and low, but love will be the greatest gift that helps your spirit grow. Faith, hope, and love greatest of these is love. In all we say and do, love's eternal legacy lives on in every heart she touched. The greatest gift of all is loving others so much. Her body rests in silence, but love will never die. The greatest of all virtues still reaches for the sky.